Hello, nice to see you again. Today we're doing this. We are going to freeze and clone a moving subject. Depending on the context and the raw material, this effect can look very artistic, flashy, or funny. What we need for this are Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, and a stable, steady shot filmed from a tripod. We put the footage on a sequence and play it back until the point where we want to capture an image for the first time. We stop the video and export an image. We do this by clicking on the camera icon in the program monitor or with the shortcut Shift and E. Make sure you export the frame as a PNG and that you check Import into Project. Because you checked Import into Project, the image is now also in the project panel. Right-click on the image in the project panel and go to Edit in Adobe Photoshop. The image will now open in Photoshop. Now we can select our subject and cut it out. Go to Select and choose Subject. You will probably have to fine-tune the selection with, for example, the Quick Selection tool or with one of the lasso tools. If you use a lasso tool, make sure to add a little bit of feather. It doesn't have to be much, 0.4, 0.5 pixels may be enough, depending on the image. But with a little feather, your selection becomes just a little bit more subtle and believable. Once you've selected the subject, we're going to invert the selection by going to Select and Inverse. Now delete everything except our subject. When you save the image, pressing Command S or Control S, it will also update the image in Premiere. So it was useful to save the image as a PNG, because we can work with a transparent background and we don't have to import another file. Now place the image on your sequence so that it starts at the right time and stretch the length for as long as the scene lasts. Repeat these steps for each clone you want in your video. I know what you're thinking. You can cut out the image in Premiere too, right? Of course, with frame hold and masking the opacity, you can achieve the same effect in Premiere, more or less. But as far as I'm concerned, with Photoshop, it's much faster, easier and better. So unless you're allergic to Photoshop or consider yourself to be an absolute Premiere purist, I'd always use Photoshop for this. If you like it or if it suits the video better, you can of course also invert the effect, so that the clones are already there and that they are taken away by the subject in action. As icing on the cake, to sell the effect even better, you can of course also nest the whole scene and put a zoom or a bit of camera shake on it. And that's it. Back to the sequence and let's get creative.